Tuesday, the 12th of November, Club Grubbery. It's been another while since we've done one, John. It's a week, I think.
It has been a week, mate, but it's gone quick, hasn't it? There's plenty going on in the world.
Plenty going on in the world, and I've been traveling and you've been busy, and I've had this really bad back, which is happily on the mend now, but it knocked the daylights out of me. But here we are, and lots of people praying for us and wishing us well and asking where we've been. And so we better come back on and talk to them.
Yeah, well, actually, I don't know that we've actually done a club grubbery since President-elect Trump got the green tick, have we?
Hasn't the world shifted there?
Wow.
Man,
Yeah.
him and Bobby Kennedy are pumping some stuff out, and the reactions around the world, it's really shaking the world up. It's shaking America up, and it's shaking Australia up too. I mean, Adam Band from the Greens, I'll touch on him a bit shortly. But all these childish lefties that are perpetually offended by everything are now getting their knickers in a twist. And you know what? It's funny, Johnny, that they're all these are the people who say that you can't pick on minorities, and we should be diversified, and we should allow people to be who they are and have their say, unless you're on the other side of their fence.
Yeah, then it's okay.
Then it's okay. Then you're a scurrilous ratbag and you're a racist and all that sort of stuff. You say that sort of stuff about the Greens, and they cry because they are the perpetually offended party.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it's crazy. I mean, I saw something there last week that the Health Services Union put out about the ambulance service. They were chasing after some poor paramedic who dyed her hair red, and they were offended, the ambulance service, that she had this dyed hair, and said, reprimanded. Can you believe that, for dyeing your hair?
Why were they offended by that?
I don't know, but they're happy for everyone to wear rainbow epaulets everywhere.
Johnny, what's going on?
Don't know, it's mad.
Was the red hair symbolic of Trump's victory or something like that?
Well, maybe that's probably what got them. Do you think?
Or was it solidarity with Pauline Hanson,
Maybe.
the red hair? Um, no, and I'll tell you what's been really interesting, and the folks at home would have seen this. There's been a lot of YouTube clips going on of people pasting together videos that lefties have been putting out in America, Democrats who have lost the plot. They've spat the dummy big time. The screaming and the ranting and the yelling and the crying. These are like spoilt brats, and they're banging their heads against the steering wheels of their cars, and they're full of doom and gloom, and the world's over, and how can America be like this, da 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 da. And it hit me the other day, John. We've often talked about this positive parenting thing. You know how you get a trophy or a certificate nowadays if you just turn up at school?
Yeah.
You know,
Everyone gets. Yeah.
everyone gets a pat on the back and, oh, you're special and you're amazing. And then, of course, what happens when they go into the real world and their boss says, hang on, you didn't do that right? They chuck a stuzzy. They're not used to handling criticism, and their character hasn't developed because everything they do is perfect and there's nothing that they can do that's wrong.
Mm.
We're now starting to see the fruits of this. I think this is where this whole woke agenda comes from. It's from that era of positive parenting kids who've now grown into, their bodies have grown into adults, but they've still got these childish, petulant attitudes. And every time they don't get their own way, they spit the dummy.
Yeah.
They lose it. Like Adam Band, he's one of those.
He is. And what's he been up to, Woody? Old
Oh,
Adam.
mate, let me just have a look at this. I'll read this to you. I got an email from Advance Australia from Susie Burke. Um, and it says, Dear Graham, Australian Greens leader Adam Band had a weird reaction to the American people voting for Donald Trump as their next president. He reckons the whole thing is terrifying. He reckons this democratic result will embolden hate and far-right extremism. But don't worry, because hate will not win if you just hold your loved ones close. That's what he says. And what kind of rhetoric's that, John? Hate will not win if you hold your loved ones close. I mean, it's a lovely thought, but what? This is a leader of once prominent political party in Australia.
Mm.
Mate, what are you even talking about, says Susie. Yesterday he wrote to Greens supporters accusing Advance of being the far-right lobby group that led the racist misinformation campaign against The Voice. He accused you and I of spreading misinformation and fear. The Greens know the defeat of Kamala Harris was also down to campaign groups like Advance that don't field candidates but work to convince voters on the issues. Greens used to care more about the environment than who won an election on the other side of the world. But they're not who they used to be. Now the Greens are the inner city elites who are crying their eyes out because their preferred radical activist was rejected by the American people at an election. We saw the same reaction to the overwhelming defeat of the Voice in last year's referendum. Just like the US elites did during the recent election, calling Trump supporters garbage and fascists, the elites in Australia call us dinosaurs, dickheads, and racists for voting against racial division in our own constitution. And then it goes on to say, and when the Australian people said no, Adam Bandt called Advance's campaign against the Voice Trumpian and accused us of corrosive misinformation. Like the rest of the nation's elite, he thinks you're stupid if you voted no. But here's the real lesson for Australians from the victory of President Donald Trump, and I think this is good. It's the same lesson we learned during the referendum. When mainstream Australians stick together and fight, we can beat the most powerful elites in the world. Will the Greens ever understand that? I don't think so, because they're the activists and the elites we're fighting against. They hate this country. Just look at how they reacted after they lost seats in Queensland. Did the Greens listen? No, they blamed Queenslanders. More and more people are turning away from them, especially those Australians who are seeing Advance's ads about how they're not who they say or who they used to be. Just look at this polling that was published in the Herald Sun this week. It found that the women are deserting the Greens, with their vote among females falling from 22% to 18%. These are the people who are seeing our powerful digital campaign. And that's a direct result of the support that Advance gets. So, I mean, that's a pitch for Advance from Susie Burke, but you can't argue with what she said, John.
Well, look, Hoodie, I mean, I don't have any stats on this, but overwhelmingly, when there's problems in Parliament, in offices, it seems to stem from the Greens. You know, how many staffers have we had come out of Parliament from Greens MPs' offices saying that they were bullied and harassed, and the culture in there is just completely toxic. I mean, it seems to be very heavily weighted towards them. This unethical behaviour that they get on their soapbox about and accuse everyone else, and go to elections and say, Trumpian. Like, well, look, I tell you, someone like Donald Trump would have more integrity in his little finger than any of these people put together, and that's the real truth of all this. You can say what you like about Trump, but at the end of the day, probably well over 60% of people resonated with what he had to say, because he went to an election, Hoodie, with conviction, and he went with solutions. He wasn't just talking rubbish like the Greens do about all this woke agenda stuff. And I mean, that's why people love him, because they want to drain the swamp. They want to get back to basics, and they want to eat healthily, and they want to be able to go to a doctor and get proactive things done. And, they want the economy to thrive. They want people to be able to buy a house. They don't want to be, homeless. And this is the sort of stuff that the Greens just thrive on. They love all this keep everyone in poverty, really, so that the Adam Bants of the world can live happily on their $350,000 plus salaries and pensions for the rest of their lives.
Yeah, absolutely. You know what? And the thing about the Trump victory, like him or loathe him, he has said some outrageous things that would have, he should have paid a heavy price for some of the things that came out of his mouth during the campaign. He should have, but he didn't. The people overlooked him because the people hate the left-wing agenda so much in America that they, even despite Trump's faults, they still would rather have him run the country than Kamala Harris. And I think this is a clear message to all Australian politicians. The woke agenda is done. The pendulum's starting to swing back the other way. If you don't think that Australian voters are going to follow that trend, It's not because they're ultra right wing. It's
Mm,
got nothing to do with that. Most people sit in the middle. Remember, I keep saying right wing, left wing, who cares? I never flew an aeroplane that didn't fly unless it had both. But in the middle, where all the people sit in the fuselage, that's where most Australians sit. They're either one way, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. And when the pendulum swings back, we need to slow it down a little bit so we spend a bit more time in that honey spot before it swings the other way too far.
mm.
So for me, I think this is going to start a global trend that's going to take some slowing down. And I think any left wing politician would have to be very, very having very sleepless nights at the moment in Australia. And I can imagine, John, the chimneys above the offices of various government departments in America at this stage will be pumping out smoke as they're burning files right, left, and centre. You
Well, I
know,
reckon it's going on in Australia too, Woody. I think this will resonate down here. There's no doubt about it. I mean, America sneezes and, we hiccup. There is no doubt about it. I can just sense. I think you probably do as well. There's been a real shift since this election. There's more and more stuff coming out every day that supports where we've been for the last 4 years. And look, someone like RFK Jr. Really uh, putting these people on notice that they are going to be out. No, they're not just going to be reformed; they're going to be kicked out. These people. I mean, he is going to go in there with an axe and he's going to be swinging, and he's going to have to support Trump. There's no doubt about that. I mean, Trump learnt, I think, in the first 4 years, he wanted to do things, but I don't think he knew how to do it, and the bureaucrats were stopping him. But he's learned a lot from that experience, and now, with any sort of luck, if he's got a driveway that's clear in the Senate and in the lower house, he's got the support. I think he's going to be unstoppable cleaning up this swamp.
well, I think he's got the power now. He's got the mandate now. Clearly, he's got the mandate, 60% or more of the vote. He's got the popular vote. He's won that. He's won the Senate. He's won the lower house. This is Trump's 4 years to do some heavy lifting, and I can see with the people he's surrounding himself with, they're not wilting violets, mate, are they? These people, they're going to go for it. I mean, he's got Elon Musk. He's talking about who else we're talking about? It might be his press
Alex
secretary.
Alex Jones,
Alex Jones is press secretary. I mean, the mind boggles. I mean, it just and RFK looking after health.
mm,
This is just it's going to be interesting to watch, but clearly it's rattled Americans, and America's a tinderbox at the moment. There's a lot of people being stirred up, uh,
mm.
and these authorities that are being ousted with Trump coming in are not going to go quietly into the night. They're going to do everything they can to disrupt and destroy, as the likes of people like Adam Bandt and the Greens would do here in Australia if the same thing happened.
Well, look at they doing here, Woody. I mean, I see on Fordham's program that Matt Keane, and our old mate Bowen, Chris Bowen, they're off to the some climate conference or something or other, and the Taliban's been invited. I mean, this is the sort of garbage. I mean, do ordinary people out there think that going to a climate conference with the Taliban is a good use of taxpayers' money?
Johnny, I want people to remember what you just said because that COP conference is in Kazakhstan. And Kazakhstan's a big oil producer. The first oil derricks that were ever assembled anywhere in the world were in Kazakhstan in 1848. That's where they first started pumping oil out of the ground. So it's a major energy supplier. And now I want people to remember that Chris Bowen is going to a conference in Kazakhstan and Matt Keane with the Taliban. And I want them to remember that when the Labor Party come out screaming and yelling that our own Adrian McRae went to Russia for the BRICS conference
Mm.
and he
Yep.
met with Russians. I think that's a valid point. So if they start slinging mud, they need to be
Bring
ready
it
to
back.
get some back.
Well, look, what can you say, Hoodie? I mean, we're every day we're seeing more and more stuff eventuate. I mean, Adrian McRae was so right to kickstart that entire narrative in the local councils. I mean, to what effect it has, we will only know in due course. But he is somebody that is absolutely principled. And look, you can't. I don't know why they want to keep slinging mud at these people. It's just completely mad, isn't it?
Well, when you're over the target, John, the flag comes up, doesn't it?
I
They're over
see.
the target. They're doing it because they're terrified.
Yeah.
They can't. These men and women, they cannot stand against someone with integrity.
Mm,
You know, like Adrian McRae has been upfront and open about everything he's done. He hasn't tried to hide his opinions or his beliefs, and he hasn't tried to shirk his duty as an elected representative of Port Hedland or a free citizen of what we used to think was a democratic society. If he wants to go to Russia and he wants to talk to the Russians, what's wrong with that? I'm
mm,
sure that ASIO and the ASD, Australian Signals Directorate, all these people will be looking over him like a fine-tooth comb. And I can tell you they won't find anything. They
mm.
won't find anything wrong because he's up front. He's not doing anything wrong, you know.
But
So
it's okay, but it's okay, isn't it, Woody? I mean, this is the double standards of these grubs. I mean, it's okay for Upgrade Albo over the course of 20 years to be going into the chairman's lounge and get upgrades from Qantas into business and first class for himself and likely family members. Um, we've heard that his previous wife was upgraded. I mean, yeah, sure, it might have been put in the registers, but who cares? I mean, these people are paid well enough to be paying for their own way. I mean, it's absolutely sick, makes me sick to the stomach that these people just think that they're so entitled that they've got to sing and dance. I mean, how many people did you see on the aircraft, Woody, that you'd love to give an upgrade to?
yeah.
People who are disabled in discomfort, needed a bigger seat. There's so many reasons to give an upgrade on a charitable basis or a needs basis, but these grubs just felt that they were so entitled that they could accept this. I think that is a bigger story than it's been given credit for. I mean, I think it goes to the heart of the integrity of these people, and it demonstrates what they're really about. And it's not about serving the people of this great nation in Parliament. It's about what they can get out of it.
Look, exactly right. I mean, whether you declare it or not, John, how is it ethical to be, even if you declare it, to be in the pocket of people like of grubs like Alan Joyce? Now, you're right about the upgrades. I got into trouble once because I insisted on upgrading a doctor into business class halfway across the Bight to Perth because we had somebody down the back that was having problems breathing, and the guy spent an hour with her and did an amazing job. And I said to the customer service manager, give him the rest of the flight in one of those empty business class seats, and she did. Well, one of the grubs, one of the elites that was sitting up there, complained to Alan Joyce about it, that I upgraded this guy, and so I got to please explain. I mean, and there was a time when the captain or the customer service manager, the purser we used to call them then, could upgrade based on their own discretion. And there might be a lovely old lady who'd showed respect to somebody coming on the aeroplane, or somebody who offered to put a bag up in the overhead locker for somebody else. Um, we used to use it to reward good behaviour and reinforce good behaviour amongst some passengers, and now no, everything's got to go through the grubs at the top. That's what it's like. You can't just upgrade anyone on board. You might have a completely empty business class cabin,
Mm.
and you're still not allowed to upgrade. But if you're Albo and Albo's family, you not only get upgraded on the aircraft, you get chairman's lounge.
Yeah.
And has
Yeah.
he relinquished that yet?
No, not to the best of my knowledge.
Of
No,
course
I
not,
think
mate.
still on the gravy train, all of them. I mean, Pip Spence. I mean, someone was talking the other day about conflicts of interest with the chairman's lounge. No, I can't remember where it was, but I mean, it just. Oh, that's right. It was the ACCC chairman or someone, whoever's running the ACCC. Um, they're a member of the chairman's lounge. So like, I don't know. I think the rules need to look. If it was me, Hoodie, I think this chairman's lounge stuff is toxic. I'd just get rid of it.
To be shut.
Qantas should be shut down. I mean, Qantas is kidding itself. I mean, you're there for an hour before the flight. Look, just make the just make one lounge, and people can go in there if they want to pay, or if they're entitled to go in there with the price of their ticket. Fair enough. But look, come on, this stuff's just more elitism. And the best thing, Vanessa, whatever her name is, down there to do is get rid of it. I mean, it's a toxic thing to have. I think it's once again it just creates this tier of the haves and the have-nots, and unfortunately, organisations like Qantas are making sure that there's more of the have-nots.
I think it speaks to the integrity of or the lack of those politicians who accept it and think it's their entitlement, that they're entitled to that. I think it speaks to the lack of their integrity. And we noticed a couple of backbenchers pull the pin on Qantas, the Chairman's Lounge membership the other day. I thought that was well done.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, I mean, yes, you're right. It's an hour. You're at the airport for an hour. The bread might be a bit fresher on the hors d'oeuvres or what. I don't know. Maybe the caviar comes out of a different jar. But for goodness sake, the business lounge is great. You go there, you can sit and relax. You might be approached by somebody, but there's even private areas in the business lounge where you can go. I can understand people not wanting to be approached by every guy with an opinion and wanting to bounce it off them, but yeah, look, it doesn't pass the pub test. It doesn't. Speaking of the pub test, Johnny, Brad Hills from the Cali, mate,
Mm.
every day you're getting the messages from him about people, his customers who are dying,
Yep, yep, and his relatives.
and his
Uh,
relatives, and his I think one of his staff sent a message saying that this guy's mum had gone to the John Hunter Hospital to have a procedure, and she had a massive heart attack out the front before she even got in, and she died. And all young people, a lot of these are young people. I'm talking about in their early 50s.
mm, mm.
Brad's seeing it there in the Hunter Valley. The Hunter Valley seems to be a cluster um, for lots of different reasons, probably. But when the man behind the bar is concerned about all of his patrons dropping off, um, it's not real flash. So yeah, thanks for keeping us updated, Brad.
Yeah, well, and look, and it tells you too, Hoodie, that these I don't know how many people there are out there. I mean, that 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 have suffered injuries, and I think people are waking up to what they are. I think people are saying, "Oh, well, this has gone on since the jab," but they're not talking widely about it. And I think connecting those people with other people would be a real milestone, not only for their journey, but to draw some real inference on how bad this is, because I don't think we truly know how bad it is yet, unfortunately. But the thing that worries me, Woody, is these oncologists coming out, and there's another one in the States that we're trying to track down for an interview. I mean, he looks gold standard. I mean, he looks the caliber of Angus Dalglish in terms of his history. So when these people are coming out and they're challenging what's going on, and they're saying these turbo cancers are real, but Wikipedia is saying they're not. I mean, who do you believe, Woody?
Wikipedia, for goodness sake. Dickheadpedia.
Oh dear, oh
Oh,
dear.
look, far out. I mean, anyway, I'll tell you something else that's interesting, and it's really good just shooting the breeze, and we're not getting angry or anything. We're just finding it really fascinating. Um, Trump has come out in the last 24 hours and said that he's going to severely penalise any social media platform that censors or bans any comment. He's opening up free speech. He's getting rid of misinformation, disinformation. He's going to wipe it out completely. He's going all stops. I mean, his speech relating to that issue that he's going to deal with, commencing on January 20 when he's sworn in, one of the first things he's going to do is sign an executive order. So he's opening up the media completely, and he's really going for the legacy media that have been pushing all this garbage. He's made it really, really clear. So given that our social media platforms that we broadcast on all pretty much American based. If they've opened up and they're being told by the US government they're going to be penalised unless they open up free speech. And the Australian government's telling them they're going to be penalised unless they introduce misinformation, disinformation procedures. It's going to create a bit of a dichotomy for these people, isn't it?
Mm. Yeah, and it speaks volumes of the integrity of Albo, doesn't it? That in the dead of night, during the pandemonium of probably one of the most highly watched US elections in history, uh, we've got Albo bringing in this mad bill to try and secretly slip it through. So your point is very valid, Woody. It really is a real issue, and I think, I mean, I see this morning that Dutton has essentially firmed with the bookies as the favourite for the next election, and I think that's probably pretty right. I think in the wake of what's happened with Trump and the fact that uh, we've got these very very unique situations occurring with Albo. I mean, here we've got Trump opening up and we've got Albo shutting down. Doesn't make any sense, does it?
It doesn't make any sense, mate. And a lot of people are saying that the Labor government's finished federally. And let's hope it's finished all the way across the board. But at the end of the day, we just wait and see. But I'm still not convinced that Dutton's going to be any better. I mean, I know we want to see the Labor Party kicked to the curb because of what they've allowed to happen to this country, the divisive politics of Albanese with the Voice for a start, and the money that he spent on that. And this wokeism that's going through. I mean, we're done with Welcome to Country.
Yeah.
We're done with all this rubbish, and it's time to come back. And the message from America is clear: the people have had a gutful of the woke agenda. They've had a gutful of everything being cancelled from, their local GP through to God himself. God Almighty has even been cancelled. And they're sick and tired of people being perpetually offended at everything that comes out of someone else's mouth. It's time to grow up. It's time for these people to grow up and get a backbone and, suck it up, princess. If you don't like something that's been said to you, instead of getting offended, just grow a character. Absolutely grow a character and let's get this country and this planet back on its feet again, away from this madness.
I think that's right, Woody. I think Dutton's got a real issue at the moment, and the real issue for me is that he's never declared himself on COVID. That
No.
that that that's a real worry to me. I mean, is he just going to keep believing these bureaucrats downtown? And once he gets in, there won't be any more to be heard because I think it'll be very difficult if Dutton's elected and he's not a believer in the COVID narrative that's occurred. If he thinks that the bureaucrats got it right, we're in real trouble. So I think he needs to declare himself one way or the other. And I have approached the former Prime Minister Tony Abbott about this because I think it's a real issue. When I'm ringing the office of Tony Abbott and I'm asking them to explain why members of their team are voting away from people like Gerard Rennick and Malcolm Roberts, then that's a real concern. I mean, when you're dismissed by the staff in that office as and hung up on, then that's a real issue. And I think he needs to come out and demonstrate some leadership in that area because it'll speak so much to his character.
Well, I want to see his character.
Mm.
I can honestly say I don't think I've ever seen Peter Dutton's character. I personally haven't seen it. I've been looking for it, believe me. I've been wanting to find it, but I haven't seen much that impresses me, to be honest with you. But to me, look, a lot of people are pushing us to get involved in politics and all of that. And I want to say this publicly: I am not getting involved in politics. I thought about it for a little while, but it's not where I'm at. I think the system's broken. We've got to work with what we've got, but we need to get the independents in and the minor parties. We need to get as many of them into the balance of power as we possibly can. And to that end, we should be working on that. But for those small group of people who are writing me letters and trying to get me to set up this and do that, and there's a lot of people handing me a hand grenade at the moment with the pin pull and asking me to throw it. And that's just not in my not in my terms of reference. I'm sorry. So do your own fighting and do what you got to do.
Well,
Um,
where we can be, this is the platform is always open for people like Peter Dutton to come onto Club Grubbery and explain away his position. He will benefit so much from talking to the people, the average Australian out there that's having a listen to us
yeah,
about what his plans are. And let us get to know you, Peter.
yeah,
Come on. There's nothing to hide. We're not going to run you down rabbit holes. I mean, we've had the former Prime Minister Tony Abbott on, and it was a great interview. So look, come on, show the public who you are, because I think Trump may not be polished when it comes to a lot of things, but he wears his heart on his sleeve. And I don't think anyone can argue. I mean, when you think of that assassination attempt and um, how dreadful that was. I mean, that man to essentially get up and pump his fist to say, "Well, you're not going to get me." I mean, that spoke volumes to me. That's
yeah.
the character of the bloke.
Yeah, and to me too, and I'm not a big Trump fan, but I believe that something has to be done. I think that the bureaucratic swamp needs to be drained. He's the only one with the testimonials to do it. And to that end, he should have the support of everybody because the bureaucrats are running our nations. They're not elected and they need to be put on notice. We need to have people in there who are going to serve the people. And we need the politicians with the backbone in this country to do what Trump's doing. Now, if we're going to be called Trumpians for that, Johnny, then we're Trumpians. But you know what? The only Ian I am, apart from a Christian, is an Australian, and we just want what's the best for our country and its people. We just want people to be free, people to be free, and you know what? We don't need you to go. We don't need government to look after every aspect of our life. You know what? We're grown up. Well, some of us are. Some of us who aren't green.
Well, they
Um,
can't. Look at that Candace Owens visa. I mean, another example of a disgrace, absolute disgrace. I mean, why are they doing this sort of stuff? I mean, it doesn't matter. I mean, if these people are not, on a terrorist list, or there's some reason, why aren't you letting them in? You let all your people in, like if they're saying the right things or they're, it's so wrong, Hoodie.
Yeah, it's all wrong. It's all inside out and upside down. And these are all issues, of course, we're going to be discussing in Adelaide on the 1st of December, Johnny.
Yeah, for sure. Looking forward to that.
Yeah, you and I are going to be on stage together. Are you bringing Caitlin over?
No, because she's working, unfortunately, but I'm sure the people at the nursing home will be very grateful for her remaining behind.
Well, I'm bringing Michelle over, and we're really looking forward to that. The guys at Flag on the Hill, the FOTH group in Adelaide, they organise an incredible event. And it's what's the title of the event? You got the flyer there?
Hang on. Now, I knew you'd ask me that, so you can keep talking for 30 seconds.
Yeah, well, so that's happening on the 1st of December in Adelaide. I'll put the flyer on the in the description of this broadcast. And look, get your tickets and get there. It's going to be a night of entertainment and some good speaking as well. There's not that many speakers. Rebecca Barnett's one of them. I know that, and she's great value. Man, oh man, she's great value. So,
Katie, was it Katie?
oh, sorry, yeah, Rebecca Barnett. Is Katie Ashby Coppins going to be there?
I
Haven't you got
can't.
the flyer yet, Johnny?
I'm getting a bit slack, aren't I? I did put it on Twitter. Hang on, let me have a look.
But it's a great event. It's at a great venue, I'm told, and we look forward to catching up with a lot of you guys and Johnny and I being together.
So it's National Free Media Summit, 1st of December 2024, the Norwood Town Hall in Adelaide.
Yep.
Speakers are Rebecca Barnett, Kurt Malberg, Katie Ashby Coppins, and you and me.
You and me. What could possibly go wrong, Johnny?
What could go wrong?
And, and we'll have a couple of cold beverages while we're over there. Mine will be non-alcoholic, but I'll pretend I'm drunk just so you don't feel like you're on your own.
That's good.
And it'll just be a lovely event. And the last one they organised was brilliant, very well attended. So get along to that one.
And I think it's a bit of a carnival sort of atmosphere for the day, isn't it? That's the sort of impression I've got. There's other sort of things coincide with it.
Yeah, there's music and all that sort of stuff happening. And now the other event I want to promote is this weekend. I'm going to Melbourne to talk at the ASF conference, Australia's for Science and Freedom. 2 minutes. Someone's asking me, am I ready to come out? I'll be going to the Australians for Science and Freedom conference with Gigi Foster and Ian Brighthope, and I think Russell Broadbent will be there. There's about 30 speakers speaking on different topics, and I'm going to be talking on community and discussing things like Hoodie's Heroes, which is
What
why
a
I've been
great,
invited. Yeah,
hasn't that been amazing? Hoodie's Heroes.
yeah, Hoodie's Heroes has been incredible. More people joining, more people in New Zealand have joined. So get on. It's just a really nice group. We're not out there trying to change the world. We're just there to support one another. And the beauty of it is that that event's held at the RMIT in the middle of the city over 2 days, Saturday and Sunday. And then I'm going on with Ian Brighthope to speak to his group at Mentone, the World of Wellness group, while I'm there. And I'm staying at his place. I'm looking forward to that. And I might get a vitamin C infusion while I'm there, Johnny.
Well, you can only hope, Woody.
I can only hope.
You can only hope, but
yeah. So look, 2 great events. So get along to them. We'll put the flyers for each in the description. And we've got interviews coming up this week, John. We've got Crystal Mitchell, former police sergeant from Victoria Police, who's going to be coming on to talk about us. We've got a lady from who's been fighting the issues around pelvic floor mesh. She's coming on as well, and a couple of others in the pipeline. And we look forward to bringing those to you this week. We know we're a bit disjointed, but the travel calendar makes it hard to keep up. So we're doing the best we can, and we'll just keep pumping them out as we get them, folks. What do you reckon?
no, that's true. Well, people don't realise too. Somebody was just asking you how long you were going to be. They don't realise what the studio setup is, do they, Hoodie? You're actually sat on the toilet. You're actually there on the
I'm on the dunny.
on the dunny.
I am. Look, I'm about to do the paperwork, John.
Somebody's busting to go to the toilet, and you're holding them up.
Yeah, somebody just stuck their head in the dunny door and said, "Are you finished yet? Because I want to go and I need to go urgently." So I need to go urgently.
Oh, dear.
But we can't go without a prayer, John.
Off we go.
Lord Father in heaven, it's a blessing to come together with each other and with our beautiful viewers, Father God. And we thank you for them, and we thank you for the spirit of truth, and we thank you for the spirit of peace that, in spite of this craziness that we're all living through, that we just feel this sense of peace, because we know that there will be outcomes that are going to be hard to live with for some, but we also see justice being served here and there around the world. So we pray that our politicians, our bureaucrats, and our corporate CEOs start to develop a character for things other than their own gain and profit. So, Lord, we thank you for your blessings, and we ask you to bless all of the people who watch us in Jesus' name. Amen. Yeah. Now, Johnny, Trump was saying he's going to stop shadow banning and all of that. Now, in the last few days, a few weeks, I've been touring around. A lot of people have come up to me and said they can't find our videos. We're not on news feeds anymore. We are being shadow banned to the blazers. We are. So a lot of our content is not being seen. People are sharing it and then being banned. So you know what it is. But this much I know. If we stand in the light of truth, and the truth comes from the voice of God, then God's voice will not be silenced. And they can pass all the bills they like, Johnny, but we will not be silenced.
Well, and who knows what'll happen, Woody? I mean, we could end up on mainstream media. I mean, there's an opening at 2GB. Ray Mattress Hadley, he's departing on the 13th of December. So look, it could be the Hoodie and Johnny show at 9 o'clock.
Yeah. Yeah. I wonder if they'd give us free rein to talk about whatever we want to talk about.
Probably not.
It'd be great. I reckon our first guest should be Ray Hadley.
Well, he'd love to come on, I'm sure.
He'd love to come on, wouldn't he? He'd love to come on. Well, how good would that be? Look, we don't know what the future holds for us. We got no idea. All we know is that we're just playing this game day by day, and we're doing the best we can, and we're not out to hurt anybody. We just want truth, and we want people to get better and heal. We want the country to heal. Far out, the country needs to heal. It needs politicians to apologise, and at the very least, and then start the process of healing up. You can't heal a wound, John, by saying it's not there, and that's what they're doing.
Yeah, it's true.
Anyway, you've often been heard to say,
you just couldn't make this stuff up.
You couldn't make this stuff up. And John, don't take your shirt off, because I'm sure not very long from now we're going to be doing another interview today. And it's been great chatting with you. And everybody, stay out of the trees. It's a beautiful country. It still is, despite the individuals who are running it. And we just thank you for your love and support. Keep doing it. Keep sharing it, even though you may get shadow banned. And we'll see you on the other side very shortly. God bless you all and bye for now. See you, Johnny.